There are some books that probably just shouldn't be talked about. And none of that other stuff. Don't even go there. Don't go that way, because I'm not going that way. I'm just saying. Um, I guess you could call it a short story that was stretched into a hardcover. And we do it again in about 3 years. And when I get to that point, I'll have a surprise book for you. You probably haven't heard of it, because it's only 20 something pages, real short story. So when we get to that point in the timeline up there, that's why my Anita Blake books are up there. So I tend to point that way. And if we ever venture into adult stuff, we might do Mary. If you're a Laurell K. Hamilton fan, you know who Mary is. And you know her adult situation, anyways. So this is gonna be short. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K. Tina. This is where I read books and talk about books. I have no special effects. I have no theme music. I have nothing. It's just me reading books, talking books. Oh, we will have to get back to Miss Sands soon. So there's nothing special going on here. It's just me reading books, talking books. So I'd appreciate you like and subscribe and share, and it's been over 10 months now, and I thank you people that have subscribed. I really appreciate it. If you could get, I don't know, another 900 people to subscribe, that would be good. So anyways, we have talked about Anita Blake before. She's a necromancer. She's a U.S. Marshal now. She's dating John Claude now. She raises the dead for a living. She works for Animators Inc. She, a couple years ago, it was announced that the people that worked for Animators Inc. were all made shareholders, so they all own equal parts of the company now. So they don't have to answer to Bert. But like I had said previously, the first 9 books in this series is just, she's solving a murder mystery every book, and the relationships are going every book. And then if you've seen, Laurel's been doing videos on her Facebook page or her TikTok or whatever you want to call it. I have no idea. But she's showing the first covers. I have most of the first covers of the books that she's doing. And she shows Obsidian, and I have the first cover of Obsidian. And she says it's the first one that made her a bestseller. I thought it was earlier than that, but and that was a total Edward book. It's a total, if you read the series and you like Edward, go ahead and read it. It's a long book. If you're not an Edward fan, feel free to skip it. It's no biggie. I mean, for Edward fans, it's big, but for the rest of the storyline, because when she gets back, Narcissus in Chains, the whole theme line of the books change, and it's Anita is no longer saying no to men in her life, and she starts accepting Micah in Narcissus, and a couple others, and then we get to Cerulean first, and that's Jason. Jason gets added to the. If you don't know, Anita's core group is John Claude, Asher, Nathaniel, Micah, Jason. Those are and Richard. And that short book that I talked about that's only 30 pages, that's Richard. He deserves his own book one day. One day maybe she'll get around to it. She's doing weddings now. Well, actually, no, she's stalling. She hasn't actually gotten. Smolder is like the first couple days, and then Slay sounds like it's going to be the next couple days. but she hasn't actually gotten to the wedding yet. And she's been talking about on her Twitters or whatever she does it, that it may even be another book to 2 books before she actually gets to the wedding. So it may take 4 books to go, what, 2 weeks or something. But she hasn't even dealt with the Jason. She raised the Jason situation in Smolder, but like for 10 seconds, like two or three lines, and it's pushed on the shelf. And apparently it's not, it may be addressed, it may not be addressed in Slate, I do not know, but she's contemplating the 3rd book to be another Jason book. And that's even before the wedding has even occurred. So, I mean, I don't know what she's doing, but that was her last content speaking that I heard. So anyway, this is one of the smaller books. She gains another guy in this book, an unwanted guy, but he comes in, he helps a few situations down the road. But so the book is Flirt, and it's a short book, and it's also it will also be in that other book that I will talk about in a couple weeks when we get to it. But the whole book was inspired by a comic strip, and she talks about it in the front of the book, and she talks about it after the story. So she says, how do I get my ideas? How do I know it's enough for a book? How do I work? I get these questions so often that when the idea for this book, Flirt, came to me, I decided to pay attention to the entire process from initial idea to the finished product. You can read the novel and then read the nonfiction piece at the end of this book that tells the life events that inspired Flirt. So that's the beginning, and then she has that snip at the end. So this starts off with, well, I'm not reading, so. Tony Bennett comes to her office and wants her to raise his wife from the dead. Apparently, they were camping or something like that, and they had a gas stove, and it exploded, and his wife exploded in a bunch of pieces. So Anita's the only animator out there that can literally put her back together and raise her from the dead. And he believes that Anita's reputation that says that she can raise a dead person and make them look real. So that's what he wants. He wants his wife back, is what he wants. But he is reluctant to say all this to Anita. So she turns him down. She's like, no. So then after lunch, or after this meeting, she goes to lunch with Anita, Micah, and Jason and Nathaniel. And they talk about, catch up a little bit on Jason's daily life, on Nathaniel's daily life, how Caleb is working out, and how the guys didn't mention they had picked Anita up at work for lunch. And they saw Mr. Bennington, and they revealed Mr. Bennington had showed the guys the picture of his wife. And when the topic came up, because they heard Anita say sorry for your loss, so they figured he lost his wife, so they were saying sorry for your loss. So Mr. Bennington showed them the picture of his wife, and they said, we've not met her, blah, blah, blah. But when they go to lunch, Anita's like, you knew her. And they're like, yeah, she was a club regular. She liked to be with shapeshifters. Hint there, we won't go there. You can take Incubus Dreams with you and a couple other ones. But anyway, we won't even go there. There's a whole nother Anita. Ugh. So anyways, so then the next couple of chapters, Natalie Zell comes to her and wants her to raise her husband from the dead so she can kill him. She wants him to fear her so she can kill him. So Anita's like, no, no. So then a couple weeks later, She goes back to the restaurant again where she had lunch with Nathaniel, Micah, and Jason. It's near her workplace, and she went to have a little bit of a lunch in between her work. And these guys come in, and she can tell that they're lycanthropes. And one is a lion, and she's got this thing with the lions, if you remember Blood Noir. And the other stuff that happened in Harlequin with Joseph, I think. And Haven. Oh, good Lord, is coming. I think it's the next book, the book after Haven. But we won't spoil that for you yet. But so they kidnap Anita, and it's such a long, drawn out thing. They spend quite a bit of time in the restaurant, and it's a long thing. And then they finally get her in the car or the van or whatever. They're not. They take her to Bennington. Surprise! He wants her to raise his wife from the dead. And then they take her to the cemetery, and they're like, do this. And so Anita does something that the Anita in Guilty Pleasures or Laughing Corpse or Blue Moon or any of the early Anita books, pre Narcissus in Chains, pre Ardor days, she does something that she has not done previously. She uses the Ardor as a weapon, and she makes one of her kidnappers, Nikki, her animal to call. She makes him her slave. She has a little bit of a guilty conscience thereafter, but that's how she saves the stuff. So, like I said, it's a short book, and you can make with it what you will. It's not, well, some of the Jason, I like catching up with the Jason, Micah, and Nathaniel part, and this is how she introduces Nikki to the situation. And the comic strip stuff at the end, I will leave that to you to read. That's a whole nother story. So if you want to check it out, and please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I've been doing the whole Anita Blake thing, and we will be doing what's next? Bullets. Bullets is next, I think. And we will eventually go to Ireland, I think. But anyways, check it out. Flirt. It's Anita Blake. Hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Thank you. Have a good weekend.